Look at that.
Because it's the 2-1 seeds, and it feels like it could very well be a Super Bowl preview. In games like this where you got number 2 defense going or number 2 offense.
You want to know that you have quality wins backing up what type of record that you have. And we know for a lot of people talk about with the Miami Dolphins, who have they really beaten?
Well, you don't get to play the Jets in the playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, like,
with respect to you.
I don't wear that uniform anymore. But it's like, who have they beaten? And then for the Dallas Cowboys, they haven't beaten a quality team on the road. And
when the last 60 minutes of tape we saw was them getting absolutely obliterated in Buffalo. I just wonder, why are they so different away from home?
Well, I think, listen, there's a couple reasons. Number one, when the Dallas Cowboys are at home, they don't have to worry about crowd noise. Dak Prescott can see, he can manipulate defenses because of his gait. He's able to do that, especially against quality opponents. Now, let me tell you this. You mentioned the Buffalo Bills and how they ran roughshod all over the Dallas Cowboys defense. Guess what the Miami Dolphins does well? They run the football. Right. As much as we talk about Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, Raheem Mostert is running the heck out of that ball. Yeah. Okay, Devin Achane running the heck out of that ball. So before we even talk about Tyreek Hill, they need to stop the run first because you have to earn the right to go rush the passer. If you're the Dallas Cowboys, stopping the run is going to be paramount.
Yeah, Coach McDaniel's a diabolical dude, but he's as smart as he is. I think
he's like a genius.
Put on the Buffalo tape and say, all right, well, let's do that to him.
Yeah.
It's great to have you here. Merry Christmas,
man.
my friend. The great Damian Woody. Always.
How do they plan on doing that?
After last week's loss to Buffalo, the Cowboys knew there'd be plenty of questions in getting ready to face Miami. Can they beat a good team? Can they stop the run? Maybe more importantly, can they win on the road?
What a great opportunity now. A great team, team top of their division, one of the best teams in the AFC to get a chance to go out there and not necessarily redeem ourselves, but pick our on the road and put a performance out there like we have at home, and really more so a performance that we know we're capable of.
The Cowboys' defense will be especially challenged. The Dolphins have speed everywhere, and after giving up 266 rushing yards to the Bills, they know they'll be tested all over.
We got to get to them before they can get their speed. I got to do a great job rushing the quarterback. I got to do a great job setting the edge, slowing these guys down. It's going to take everybody, just a team where it's not just about the back end. It's about, all 11 doing their job to slow these guys down so they never pick up that 100% speed. We got to come out the stat flying this week.
Over the last 2 years, the Cowboys are the only team in the NFL without consecutive losses. If they win Sunday, they at least keep their hopes in the NFC East alive for another week. At the Star in Frisco, Texas, Todd Archer, ESPN.
Thanks, Todd. The Dolphins getting their main man back in practice at the right time. Tyreek Hill returning on a limited basis after missing last week's win over the Jets with an ankle issue. Whether he plays Sunday, still unclear, as the Dolphins have said all week they are proceeding with caution when it comes to their star's health. I know he's trying to tell us otherwise, but I'm pretty sure that was not. I don't think that was. I'm not a real Santa.
It was last weekend of the season, and Miami has the toughest schedule remaining in the NFL. They got the Cowboys, they have the Ravens, they have the Bills. Buffalo's next two opponents, meanwhile, have a combined record of 8-20. So because of this, there's a 62% chance the Bills and Dolphins play for the division Week 18. So Miami needs this. Meanwhile, the Cowboys, they lead the NFC win on the road. And here's Micah Parsons talking about his team.
We saw it last week against the Jets. We understand that. Remember, that whole San Francisco style of running, was devised by McDaniels.
Yeah, he's a run specialist.
Yeah. So that's what he did for San Francisco. So he's going to find ways to be able to exploit, Marquise Bell, who's a lighter guy. And you can't hide him. You can't hide linebackers, right? You can't hide away from physicality. So you have to consider maybe
talk. Let's see it on the field. I love the Dolphins. They got to get her done somehow.
Help me with one thing quickly here, though, because what Dan Orlovsky was explaining yesterday, we'll get the guys in, is like they'll kill you then with those screen passes. They'll throw it out to the side to Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle and all of that. Like, they're going to beat you with, Miami can beat you with their speed too.
Yes, they can, but if you're going to, to do that, you got to try and stop them with a light box. You might rather have a real inside linebacker that's 240 pounds that can go sideline to sideline. When Michael Parsons on one side, you can get away from them and take them out of the game by running away from him.
You see, the best way to help the Dallas Cowboy defense is Dak Prescott. Last week, Josh Allen, completed 7 passes. They scored 30 points. So what they have to do is, if Dallas can score and make Miami throw the ball part of the time, that allows Dallas to do what they do best, which is rush the passer. RC's point, beyond that, it's all physics. They are so light between Marquise Bell, Damone Clark that Miami, even with backup offensive linemen, will be able to run the ball. The other thing, as Hembo reminded me, is Tua is second in the league in completions for screens and yardage screens, to what you're alluding to, Greeny. That's what they want to do. Those are long handoffs. The way you get Miami out of their comfort zone is you have to move the ball on offense. And if Dak Prescott, even if they have a B game, that's going to allow Dallas to do what they do best, which is rush the passer.
Yeah, it's interesting. There's a couple injury issues, right? Jonathan Hankins, the big D tackle, missed last week's game. Doesn't look like he's going to play in this one. That's a big factor in their run defense, obviously. Tyron Smith, the left tackle, hasn't practiced yet this week. I'd feel, if I were Dallas, I'd feel more comfortable. I saw him on the practice field today. I find what Bart's saying fascinating. People forget about Micah Parsons, that he was drafted as a linebacker, right? He's been such a,
what Mike T is saying. For the Cowboys, it would be awfully nice to play from in front instead of behind. Last week, everything got away from them so quickly in that game. It didn't feel like they were being dominated, but they were losing, like, I think it was 14-0 or 10-0 before you could even open your eyes. So how do they do that? How does Dak?
Well, I think the first thing was, it wasn't about Dak into why they were trailing. It was because they couldn't stop the run. It was because they couldn't get off of the football field. And if you look at the Miami Dolphins, they're second in first down efficiency to the San Francisco 49ers. And Michael Parsons can't.
You got to run the ball well. The guy's got to block, though.
And the Buffalo Bills never allowed them to get there. And offensively, I think sometimes
to itself. Yeah. Like they still, you talk about having won Super Bowl in 30 years. Like they believe they're that good, but they have to show it. And this is another opportunity. Win a road game against a first place team that needs the game. I think we're talking about Dallas differently next week, and more importantly, I think they feel differently about themselves next week.
I just feel like they've answered every question after a loss, and I know we're talking about it being on the road. This doesn't matter where they play to me. I feel like this team has stepped up when they needed to, and I expect them to play better this week.
As long as me and you have been in the NFL, the narrative about the Dallas Cowboys have always been the same. They're front runners, and if you punch them in the face, they will fold. It's always been a narrative, and Michael Parsons has to understand that's what it's been. If he wants to do something about it, he needs to do something about it. It's not on us, it's on him.
Let's see if they get punched in the face early. That's in the 4:25 slot Eastern time in South Florida. As we continue on this football Friday, the truth.
Can't wait. Well, Saturday morning, December 23rd, it's a day before the Dolphins host Dallas. Dolphins throwback uniforms. I'm going to the back here today. I love the fog. It's 31 degrees. Yes, it is a Saturday, December the 23rd, 2023. And I am stoked about tomorrow's game. I'm happy for all Dolphin fans. I mean, 10-4 at home. Much riding on it. Let's see what Colin Cowherd says about this matchup. See how accurate he is, because he's been spouting out off at the mouth. Fins up, baby, fins up.
Never grow old, it's evergreen.
Then, so I see Dallas blowing them out. I think Dallas is going to blow them out. I think they're going to push them around. I think Tua is going to get sacked 7 to 8 times. I think he's going to be running for his life, passes batted down. I'm here to tell you right now, I think Dallas is going to go in there and control the football game beginning to end. And Tyreek Hill have some, he'll do some somersaults in the end zone. He'll have a big play or two. Jerron Bland will bite on an out. It'll be an out and up. It'll be a chair. It'll be a touchdown, and everybody will celebrate. But the crowd will be 75% Cowboys. And one team doesn't have to have a fake Gucci bag. They've got a real one. Sometimes they lose it, but they got a real one. And I like Dallas big. Big being 10 points, 12 points. Comfortably, in control. Tua running for his life, getting sacked. Dak, time to throw. Bradley Chubb, overwhelmed by Tyron Smith. Interior offensive line, creating big holes for Tony Pollard. Dak with time to throw. Tua, none. That's how I see it.
Need Tyreek and Waddle coming up big tomorrow, just like the Marks brothers did.
Let's go!
get interesting here. He about to run this fast. 30. Go, man. I can smell it. And then once I made that cut, I knew it was there, so I had to make it happen.
Martin is inside the 20. Can you believe this? That is insanity. Touchdown! He takes it back for the play.
Throwbacks going on Sunday. I cannot wait to see that. Check this out on a Saturday afternoon, December 23rd. Day before a Dolphin big victory. Thinking a lot about what Colin Cowherd said with the Dolphins hosting Dallas and Miami being like Gucci, this and that. Man, there's just not a lot of respect for the Dolphins, a lot of doubters, and I get it. That's okay. I think that's where the Dolphins want to be. I mean, I'm even disappointed that the Dolphins are favored in this game by 2 points. Run game must get going. Got like any professional football game, you got to get some breaks. The ball has to bounce your way, and when that ball's on the ground, the Dolphins have to pounce on it. The eve of Christmas Eve is where we're at here. Nice 48 degrees is what it's saying up top here. Great day, great day. Church on the eve.
Unbelievable by Bradley Chubb.
Switching to manual flight controls.
Set to get chances. Bradley
Control launches go, Roger. Main engines are go.
Houston, we have a problem. In that first spot outside the wild card here, but the key, Indianapolis and Houston are going to play each other. One of those teams will lose. It means the Bills, with 3 wins, if they win out, they will pass at least one of those teams. They control their own path to the playoffs. But hey, Bills fans, let's get greedy here. Let's not just talk playoffs. Let's talk AFC East title and a home game that come with that.
No.
What would that take? Well, it's a long shot, but it's not that implausible here. Look, the Dolphins are 10-4. The Bills are 8-6. Look at the next 2 games for the Bills. They got the Chargers tonight. Patriots next week. If the Bills can win those 2 games, they'll be sitting at 10-6. Meanwhile, the Dolphins, look at this. The Cowboys, the Ravens. Let's say they split those 2 games. They go 1-1. They'll be 11-5. And then look what happens in the last week. It's the Bills paying a visit to the Dolphins. The Bills already beat the Dolphins once this year. If the Bills could then do it again, they would tie in the standings. They'd have the tiebreaker, and the Bills.
We're gonna find out how good the Dolphins are.
Get the playoff berth, the home game that goes with that. So for the Bills, take care of business these next 2 weeks, and hope that either the Ravens or the Cowboys can knock off the Dolphins.
Steve, I think that Bills and Dolphins game would look good on NBC. I don't know. It might look pretty good on this network. So what do we think?
I love the Bills. I think the Bills can win out. The Dolphins have a hard stretch here, but they're still 2 games ahead.
Yeah.
And I'm going all in on the Dolphins. They haven't beaten a winning team yet, but I think that starts tomorrow.
They get it done?
Yeah, Ravens is going to be a challenge. And that Week 18 game against Buffalo, one for the ages. I take Miami.
I'm jumping off the edge. I'm going Buffalo.
Oh, baby.
I started the season off with Sims saying I thought Buffalo would dip. But it just reminds me of one of those teams that got it going. And now you look, and it's like everything starts to move
right
in
at the
favor.
right time, right?
Pittsburgh lose one of those games. And then the last game of the season, Buffalo have a chance to write their own destiny and win the division.
Buffalo's tough. I'm going to state off the bat here that either one of these teams in the playoffs is going to be a handful, whoever they got to play. I'm more along with Jason Garrett here. I'm going to go with the Miami Dolphins. I know the schedule is harder, but the offense, it's revolutionizing football right now. The weapons they have, right? I do think they start their winning tough football games tomorrow. And then Vic Fangio, what he's done with that defense, it's really coming along. It's one of the better units in the game. I'm going to go with the Dolphins there.
Hey, Buffalo's getting in.
Yeah.
They're getting in the
They're
playoffs.
getting in. Yeah.
Miami's going to win the division.
Right.
I just think that Week 18 game in Miami is
I'm with you.
tough for
I'm
Buffalo.
with you.
Dolphins defense statistically,
up
there. One of the best
top five in
right
football.
now. 100%.
Yeah.
Two people don't talk about that enough. All right, we're all picking the Bills in this one.
Finn Power. Rainy Christmas Eve, 11:13 a.m. Dolphins 28, Dallas 24. My prediction.
Carrying the ball 20 times a game requires power and valor, not niftiness. The water dug and whipping backs rarely survive the wail and howl of the banshee.
Minnesota. Yes, it is. And in Florida, two of the league's top offenses. Is Tyreek Hill expected to return? Cowboys and Dolphins both with something to prove against another good team. So what gives today? Mike McDaniel's team clinches a playoff berth with a win as Dak Prescott gets his first start in Miami. Time to get you ready. Sunday NFL Countdown starts right now.
Gorgeous field, I say.
The whole world watching. What are we gonna do, man? 60 minutes of pure chaos, huh? Let's bring it to these boys from the first down.
Dallas had won 5 straight, but that win streak has ended.
Need to get a chance to pick our shit up on the road. I keep receipts. Narrative needs to be we're able to win games and we're able to go where we want to go. The Jaguars.
Say hello and welcome to Week 16 of Sunday NFL Countdown. I'm Sam Ponder with Rex Ryan in the best sweater ever, Randy Moss looking good, Teddy Brinsky, and Adam Schefter. Merry Christmas Eve to everybody at home watching. I apologize for my voice.
Playoff pushes for their teams and for fantasy championships as well. Well, Tyreek Hill looks like he's going to be back playing against Dallas this afternoon.
I got to start with this game, the Cowboys versus the Dolphins. Man, you got the two great quarterbacks, MVP candidates, and Dak Prescott, and Tua Tagovailoa. But you know what? It ain't about those guys. It's about getting to those guys. So this Dolphin pass rush, man, they've been absolutely terrific the last few weeks. Right, Christian Wilkinson company, it's up to you to get on that passer. And on the other side of the ball, stop the run first, Dallas, and then turn that pass rush loose. Micah Parsons, where you been? You got to show up big in Miami this week.
All right, Rex, let's go Browns, Texans. The Cowboys and Dolphins meet up in today's meaningful matchup. We take you inside how Mike McDaniel predicted the Dolphins' one-play touchdown drive just last week.
3-6 coverage. Waddle's going to have a one-play drive here. Yeah. Here it comes.
In that game, but down in Miami, a signature win would be a nice Christmas gift for Cowboys and Dolphins fans, both vacillating between amazing and confusing. Miami has the hardest remaining schedule in the league, including today. 2 road games remain for Dallas. The Cowboys have been a different team outside of Dallas this season. The offense is scoring 18 fewer points per game on the road.
And last week they basically died, Sam.
They died.
So let me show you how they died.
Okay.
So it's in the run game. So here we go. Let's start with the defensive tackle position inside. There you are. This is a picture you don't want to see. One's on the ground, one's kick-standing right there on one leg, and Freezer in trouble, Sam. That's what Buffalo did.
I know that was hard for you to watch. The Cowboys were dying last week, while the Dolphins were living against the Jets. 2 weeks ago, though, they struggled against the Titans. So we saw a big change in that week. Rex, what are you seeing? How this
first
happen?
off, yeah, you're right, Sam. They died 2 weeks ago, all right? And why does it feel like death? Well, I'm going to tell you, all right, a little baseball analogy.
Here we go.
All right? If you lose, basically when you lose a game in the NFL, that's a 10-game losing streak in baseball. That's how big this thing is. So how do you get your team back? They played terribly against the Tennessee Titans, right? And a loss. But here's how you get your team back. Take a listen.
We lost the game up for 15 different reasons. And I have my hand fully in that, okay? Trash plan on my part. Against their zero, there's better than having to throw a fadeaway jumper. Okay?
Like he takes the accountability himself. He takes it, takes the pressure off his team. Now what's this team here? He's got Jalen Waddle at the bottom. Sauce Gardner, tough matchup. Look at the motion. He takes Sauce Gardner off of Jalen Waddle. This is outstanding coaching. Great design here. Look at Tua. Stares him down. Boom. Ball comes out. Nice. Great move here. But look up top, guys. Uh-oh, what is that?
Free run.
Well, the great coach sees all 22. This young man is an outstanding coach. Take a listen.
I'm really visualizing the one-play drive here. I'm having a tough time not visualizing a one-play drive here. Waddle's gonna have a one-play drive here. Yeah. Here it comes.
Dolphins begin at their own 40. Going deep. Going deep. Right there. What a perfect pass and play. And a touchdown to Jalen Waddle.
That's awesome.
And here's how he gets it done. Shows the motion. What's the safety pass went to? I get the one-on-one up top with my best player, one-on-one. Nice. That's why he visualized the one-play drive. Boom, there it is, touchdown. This guy knows what he's doing. Hey, very few coaches see all 22. This guy does. I know and he got the owner doing the little waddle or whatever that thing is right there. But I'm telling you, this guy, I love this guy. I love how he took the pressure off his team. Right? Accountability. Everybody's accountable, including himself. Outstanding coach.
Well, and it is a little bit easier to call out a trash play you called when most of what you're doing is working so well. This offense has already put up 441 points this season. That's second most ever since he's been there.
That ain't bad.
Actually, most
good analysis by Rex Ryan on this rainy Christmas Eve. Doing a great job, actually.
Has already put up 441 points this season. That's second most ever since he's been there.
That ain't bad.
Actually, most in franchise history. How about that? Still to come.
That's impressive, Sam.
You're a Louisiana boy. You're going no shirt today, huh? Tell us about your look today. Classic Barry Sanders and Brett Favre highlights. That's my childhood right there. Tua Tagovailoa leads the NFL in completion percentage and passing yards. We sit down with the Dolphins QB as they fight for the 1 seed against the Cowboys.
How do you feel your body has benefited in terms of the work you put in this offseason? Yeah. I mean, look at that. That's a pedigree chop.
Santa tracker, according to our friends at NORAD, who track where Santa's throughout the day in the world. He's in Russia. He's delivered about 2 million gifts right now. He's heading to India, according to my sources right now. That's where he is, the NORAD Santa
Spirit today as the game of the day on Christmas Eve is in South Florida, where the Cowboys face the Dolphins. Both looking for a signature win today. Dallas 3-4 on the road, but 10-4 overall. Miami also 10-4 can clinch a playoff spot with a win in this one. Tua Tagovailoa has been one of the best QBs in the league this year. He's first in completion percentage and passing yards. In the last 40 years, the only quarterbacks to lead the league in both categories for a full season are Drew Brees, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Kurt Warner, and Brett Favre. How's that company for Tua, who sat down with our Jeff Darlington?
There is no quarterback in the NFL seeing football faster than Tua is. With great speed down the sideline, at the 5, touchdown Miami!
Great speed on top of that. What is the hardest part about being a quarterback on a team full of track stars?
Yeah, it gets tough because then you got to figure out everyone's way of running certain routes. But in a way, you're doing a good amount of math in your head. But like the trajectory of how far you need to throw it, if you're on this hash and you're throwing outside the numbers, like if you think of the Pythagorean theorem of that is, obviously I don't know, but like it's crazy that you can react to where the person is, like throw it exactly how you want it.
How do you feel your body has benefited in terms of the work you put in this offseason? Yeah. I mean, look at that. That's a pedigree chop.
Yeah, brother, I didn't take jiu-jitsu to be dangerous, though. I took it to fall, so.
Well, it looks like you can do both. But really, has it helped?
It's helped. It's helped tremendously. I've been able to be in a lot of situations that we've worked on throughout the off-season of falling, and I've been able to put that to use this year.
I know y'all know, but let's not get complacent in here, huh?
Yep.
Hey, big touchdown block. Big touchdown block. What up, man? Communicate. And let's be great.
What is your favorite part about this offense?
My favorite part about this offense is the mindset of being optimistic, and everyone holds each other accountable in that sense. And so when Mike does say this is our offense, I truly believe that's what he means by it.
Hits it inside to AJ, breaks a tackle, touchdown. One designed by Mike McDaniel.
I'm going to give you guys the sheets of papers. I'm going to tell you guys how to read it, why we're putting it in. You guys are the ones that make it come to life, especially in the heat of the moment of competition.
It is so fun to see Tua just being himself, so comfortable. He seems to be mirroring the approach that Mike McDaniel is taking. Our Jeff Darlington is there in Miami. Jeff, that was a great piece with Tua. It's so great to see him so comfortable just being himself.
Yeah, Sam, very comfortable. You're exactly right about that. And they'll need him to be comfortable today because this is a team that's going up against a Cowboys team that has a high-powered offense as well. The Dolphins, though, can take ease in this. Tyreek Hill is expected to play in this game. Mike McDaniel really liked what he saw from him on Thursday and Friday, and without any setbacks during pregame warm-ups, Hill will be back in the lineup. But the Dolphins also really liked the confidence that Jalen Waddle got out of last week's performance when he had to step up as wide receiver 1. So looking at the silver lining of being without Hill last week, they feel like they have this passing game now really moving in the right direction. So that's the good side for the Dolphins. The Cowboys, meanwhile, trying to come in here and get a signature win of their own. Dak Prescott talked about the need to come out fast because they are going up against a high-powered offense like the Dolphins. He said the Cowboys' defense plays with much better swagger when, in fact, the offense can get some early points, something they did not do against the Bills last week. And by the way, the Cowboys will be without left tackle Tyron Smith in this game, dealing with a back issue. So one challenge the Cowboys will face against the Dolphins. Sam?
Yeah, Jeff, that definitely doesn't Jeff about starting fast, Randy. But when you look at the Cowboys, what do you think the key is for this team to get a road win that it feels like they really need today in Miami?
I mean, I really have to talk about the obvious, and that's defensively. Them getting after Tua led by Parsons, and at the same time with all the window dressing that you showed on the film wall is how they're going to slow down a guy like Tyreek Hill. Last week we were talking about his ankle. Rightfully so, they kept him out maybe for this big game coming up in a few hours. But what I'm anxious to see is what is the secondary Bland, Gilmore going to be able to do with a guy like Tyreek Hill. The ball's going up today. So what I want to be able to see, you know, as a referee, the arm bar. Because Tyreek Hill is going to get up on that defense. The arm bar, that is a pass interference. But let me flip it over to the other side because this game is full of weapons. I just talked about Tyreek Hill. I have to be able, I'll be able to talk about, CeeDee Lamb and what he's been able to mean to the Dallas Cowboys offense. What he's been able to do in the slot, leading the National Football League. 700 yards receiving from the slot and 6 touchdowns.
Other guys should be open, all right? Your Brandon Cooks of the world and things like that. But, I mean, I'm not going to let this guy eat me up for, 15 catches. I can't do it. And I don't think Vic Fangio will either.
I don't know what it is to say about the Cowboys and the way they play on the road.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because, I mean, how different are the plays? How different are the schemes?
We talked about Mike McDaniel. How good of a coach he's going to run the ball today.
He is. And then to stop Tyreek, it's not just the pass rush. Okay, it's coordinated to throw off timing with defensive backs in secondary, getting some type of disruption. And at the line of scrimmage that throws off Tua to help the pass rush. Because really, you're helping us out now as rushers because...
We'll see. All this talk, hey, you got to perform on the field. Just like you got to perform on the racquetball court.
Just a little bit.
Get it done.
Alter him just a little bit with Tua. Left-handed. Just a little bit. He's got to do that, and then I can get that.
This is a big game for Coach Quinn as a defensive coordinator. With all this talk.
Some love too, because last week without Tyreek Hill, it's like, oh no, what's Tua gonna do without Tyreek? He was great to Jalen Waddle. 21 of 24 completions to Jalen last week without Tyreek.
You have to say something about
yes,
Tua, about what he came back from this year.
Yes.
People, you overlook that because he's played so well, but people were saying he shouldn't play anymore.
Ever.
Because of the multiple concussions. This is the comeback player of the year. And I know people love the DeMar Hamlin story. Okay, it's a great story. But what Tua's come back from and the performance that he's had as a quarterback at the hardest position there is admirable, and it's incredible.
Yep. And what makes it even more so is that we're in the year of the backup quarterback, where every team has gone to their number 2, number 3 quarterbacks. Tua has started every game this season.
What he said.
Incredible to see. And look, we all laugh about the jiu-jitsu stuff, but he's done whatever it takes to figure out a way to stay out there, and it's been impressive to see. Today they get the Cowboys at home. For more on that line, let's get back to Aaron.
All right, Sam, well, right now.
And the Dolphins, it's the game of the day in Miami. Something's got to give. Both of these teams struggling with the narrative that they can't beat a good team, especially for the Cowboys on the road. Do they get it done today?
They do not get it done. I think Miami, Vic Fangio should have a great plan, be multiple in their coverage package today. Get Dak kind of frustrated, hold the football, let that pass rush eat. The great left tackle's not playing for Dallas. I think Miami gets the job done.
Man, I'm going to have to take my hat off for this one, man. This is the big game here. This game is at 4 o'clock today, man. The Miami Dolphins, you put up on film wall with all the movement that they're going to do on the offensive side is going to give the defense from the Dallas Cowboys some confusion. Get me right, bro. With all that said, you give me the Miami Dolphins at home, the Dallas Cowboys that struggled on the road. Give me 2 of them Dolphins, man. How's that?
Boom. I like that. That's right. It is game of the week here. I'm going to go with the Dallas Cowboys. All right, I called them front runners earlier. They're a bunch of punks for not knowing how to win on the road until you show us something. I think they show it today. Down in Miami, I think the defense will coordinate well. I think Dak gets back into that MVP conversation because he's going to have a huge day today. I got faith in the Dallas Cowboys. I'm going to take the Cowboys to win this one.
Wow, Buddy and I are just on the same page today because I think the Cowboys got humbled last week.
No.
I think that's enough humble pie for them. I think they get it done on the road, change the narrative up a little bit. I think it's another big day for Dak on the road, and they get the win in Miami. Here's the thing you guys don't understand. His eyes are here. Okay? He's trying to do this without being able to see. Literally, his eyes are right here. You see him where the mouth? Am I poking you in the eye? We're all in. This team is all in. I respect the commitment. It is time.
The big kiss at the end. But the one thing that remains, especially at Christmas, is love.
He's going downfield for Tebow.
And eventually, everyone will have their storybook ending. It is Hallmark, after all.
First play for the Vikings. Winter storm watch here going on.
10 from the 25-yard line as Goff throws, and it's complete.
Okay, let's go Vikes. The rain continues to come down. Walked out of Mass last night, still going. Merry Christmas, everybody. Jalen Ramsey. Omar says this is the most expensive ticket of the weekend. And there is Tyreek. Making its way in.
Beautiful fans.
Got Javon Holland testing a knee. Phil looks awesome.
Mosher is having a career year at age 31, breaking running back stereotypes and breaking Dolphins touchdown franchise records. But he told me this week he hasn't celebrated his accolades yet because he's had so many seasons derailed by injuries and lack of opportunities that only thing on his mind is more. He said, I am still playing catch up, and keep an eye on Mostert and speedy running back Devon Achane for potential big days today. I'm told they're expected to lean on both backs against a Cowboys run D that gave up 266 rushing yards versus the Buffalo Bills last week and will be without their top run stuffer, defensive tackle Jonathan Hankins, once again today.
Let's beat Dallas and hit the playoffs one more time. thing. We wanna beat the Cowboys for Christmas. We gonna beat the Cowboys for Christmas. Merry Christmas. This was on my wish list. Beat down Dallas. Playoffs, we could clinch it. Mute the doubters. They can't get no airtime. Tua can't throw, but his passes got some airtime. We ain't tripping. Let them keep hating. Cause we ain't losing. Just let them keep waiting. We manifested Super Bowls. We gon' call shots. Next mission, beat Dallas at the Hard Rock.
$19.84. Let's win again today. Well said there, Mike G.
Engel told me he got number 19, the record-setting touchdown ball, sending it off to Canton, Hall of Fame. What'd you do with number 20?
I got 20 in my archives because that's something that's personally, for me. So I might paint it, I might get it customized, something. We just have to take care of each and every game, and with the Dallas game, it's definitely the one. So
Merry Christmas to you and your family, and
thank you. Merry Christmas, everybody.
About Dallas Cowboys, their performance on the road, but Dallas was more concerned about going against Tua and the dual threat he was, so much so that they actually used two quarterbacks to play Tua in practice this week. It was these two guys. No, I'm just kidding. If it's these two guys, they'd have a lot of problems. The thing there is, they said, look, the thing that Tua does, he gets the ball faster out of his hands than any other quarterback in the league, and I think Jimmy's going to talk about that later on. So they use Cooper Rush for those plays, but then they use Trey Lance for the plays that he extends plays and uses his legs to keep those plays going. So they use two guys just to help prepare for Tua.